Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruveshya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you to our Bhagavad Gita certificate giving ceremony. Is everyone comfortable in English? Okay, Hare Krishna. So I congratulate each one of you for having the mental strength to complete the first basic course of Bhagavad Gita. Please chant Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Amidst all distractions, so much of other engagements which look so important in this time, yes, but all of you could take the strength to complete the Bhagavad Gita course. It is certainly difficult to read Bhagavad Gita, understand Bhagavad Gita, learn about Bhagavad Gita, but more difficult than just reading and understanding the Sanskrit text of Bhagavad Gita is to apply Bhagavad Gita in life. The principles of Bhagavad Gita are timeless. Timeless means Bhagavad Gita doesn't have any edition. We have seen the books. I used to solve mathematics, coordinate geometry, S.N. Loney. For the last 100 years, the book is same. In 1800s, the book was published and I was solving it in 2003. And that book on coordinate geometry, S.L. Loney, is famous because 100 years prior to book, still it is evergreen, the concepts. And that's how it is glorified, because most of the books, they keep on changing every year or two. But just imagine this book, Bhagavad Gita, which last 5,000 years ago it was spoken, and it is evergreen. So it is difficult to understand the Sanskrit of Bhagavad Gita, and all of your teachers have really tried their best to make you understand. But today we will discuss a very essential thing, that though it is difficult to understand and memorize Bhagavad Gita, but more than what is difficult in memorizing Bhagavad Gita is to live Bhagavad Gita in our life, to apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in our life. Okay. Give her some engagement. So it is very important that we live Bhagavad Gita in our daily life. How to live Bhagavad Gita? As soon as you leave the class of Bhagavad Gita, you leave Bhagavad Gita along with it. Yes, how many of you have understood this? One person was asking me, Swamiji, all what you are telling is very where? Yes. I had gone for a Friday class. Last Friday I had gone for a class. And we were discussing something. And one of the devotees in the class, he asked, Prabhuji, what you are telling looks very logical, very nice, fantastic idea. But as soon as I come out of the class, I forget everything. How many of you experience? In the class, the husband and wife, they look so nice and so gentle, so calm down. I think this type of calmness, if it remains in the home, this is created by Bhagavad Gita. But as we leave the class, it seems as if we leave all the teachings of Gita and we just get engrossed in our normal routine. Yes? So this is the curse of this age, that is forgetfulness. Forgetfulness of the spiritual principle is as truth or as sure, just like gravity. You drop something, it goes down. So you remember something, you forget. The natural tendency of this world is to make you forget. And more so the spiritual subject matters. We are forced to forget the spiritual subject matters. So today is the concluding session of the basic course. So we will discuss how we can remember and apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in our daily life. And the most easiest way to apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita is to have a role model in our life. More than 50 years ago, from this place, Calcutta, in 1965, Hare Krishna, in 1965, there was a 69-year-old man. He had no money with him. He was just having $8 with him. And from Calcutta, this 70-year-old man who celebrated his 70th birthday, he left Calcutta from Khidirpur Dock, a place in Calcutta, to give to the world the message of Bhagavad Gita. And not just give to the world the message of Bhagavad Gita, to help the world live Bhagavad Gita in life. So he was old, he took a cargo ship named Jaladuta, and his name was Bhaktivedanta Swami, who later on would be called as Srila Prabhupada. So Bhaktivedanta Swami, he left Calcutta. He was born in Calcutta. And at the age of 70, he left in 1965. And he went to New York because his guru, his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had said that you are from Calcutta, you are young, you are educated, you know English. That time, someone knowing English was like as rare as Kohinoor diamond. Learning English, speaking good English, and that too also inspired by the teachings of Gita. So Srila Prabhupada, he left this place on the order of his spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he had no money. He went in a cargo ship. He suffered 2 heart attacks on the way. And he was telling, he writes that if the 3rd heart attack comes, I will die on the way. But he had a dream. He had a dream, and Krishna came in the dream. Just relax. He had a dream, and Krishna came in the dream and took charge of the ship. When Srila Prabhupada arrived in New York, he had no money to stay anywhere. And he stayed along with the drug addicts of New York. You don't know what is a drug addict. There is a place called the Bowery. And in this Bowery, the striking smell of Bowery was drugs, urine and wine. And they were having something called the hippie movement. How many of you know what is a hippie? Okay, some know, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me describe the hippie before describing Srila Prabhupada. Because if you know the hippies, you can really understand who is Srila Prabhupada. American government, with all its money, with everything, was not sure how to handle the hippies. They had rejected everything, and this was called the American counterculture movement. They used to have everything which the American society used to tell it is wrong. Long hairs. Now also in Calcutta, now people are having long hairs. Indian version, Desi hippie. Long hairs and take drugs. And people used to be stoned with drugs so much that they just can go out to pass urine and stool, and they will do everything on the streets. That was the situation of Bowery, which was the capital of the hippie movement. And when you find out such a place to live, you pay very minimal. And Srila Prabhupada started living with these hippies. And there is a park called the Tompkins Square Park. How many of you have been to New York? Okay, someone. How many of you have been to Tompkins Square Park? Okay. It is little costly to have a yatra to New York. But we will visit it online, mentally, because it is costly physically. So Srila Prabhupada was sitting on this Tompkins Square Park and nothing was happening. He tried so much, people speaking Bhagavad Gita, nothing was happening. And he had these small drums, dub-dubi. And under a tree, he started playing. Because again and again he was contemplating, I think I should go back to India. This is almost 1 year, nothing is happening. And he started singing Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. How many of you have heard Srila Prabhupada's tune? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada was feeling so much that nothing is happening. I have come under the order of Guru to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita, and nothing is happening, nothing is happening, nothing is happening. And when nothing happens, your only shelter is Krishna. So he took this dubdubi and he was playing again and again very intensely in this Tompkins Square Park, closing his eyes, Hare Krishna, like that. And when he opened his eyes, he saw American small youth, hippie youth, big hairs and drug addicts. Drug addicts don't know, it is easy sometimes to preach to drug addicts because they don't know what is happening with them. And all the boys and girls, and they were roaming in front, around Srila Prabhupada and dancing, like if you take drugs, how you do dance. And they got so much attracted by Swamiji, Srila Prabhupada, they said that we should find out a place for Swamiji. And then they searched a place. It was a garage, it was a storefront, and that was the first ISKCON temple in 1966, established by the people who were rejected by society. This is the power of Bhagavad Gita. Just by imbibing the teachings of Gita, chanting Hare Krishna, these hippies, which American government had branded good for nothing and not knowing what to do, they started, with the inspiration of Srila Prabhupada, the first Hare Krishna temple in New York. There was Michael Grant Mukunda and his wife Janaki. They were the first couple of ISKCON. Like there's couples. So there's the first couple of ISKCON, Mukunda and Janaki. And they had a friend, Shyam Sundar and Malati, living in San Francisco. And they inspired their friend couple. Like one couple inspires another couple. So now there are two couples. And they were staying, it was running for 2, 3, 4 months. One day, Malati Devi had gone to purchase some Mexican jackets. Jacket. And she was looking around in the store and came back and gifted Srila Prabhupada this 3-inch wooden doll. And when Srila Prabhupada saw that doll, he immediately put Dandavat, "Oh, you brought Jagannath!" And Malati didn't know what is this Jagannath. Malati saw behind the doll "Made in India." And he thought Swamiji will like because this is made in India, Swamiji is from India. And then Srila Prabhupada said, "This is black, there will be some yellow and there will be some white. Where are they?" Malati said there was a big barrel filled with all types of dolls. Some was like elephant, some was like different. And I picked up. And I didn't even pay. I picked up and put it in my bag. So the first Jagannath in ISKCON was stolen from the front. And Malati was shocked that Srila Prabhupada is putting Dandavat to Jagannath. And then Srila Prabhupada said, "You must get two." And then Malati went to the store, and this time she paid for the other two and brought the other two and kept. And then Srila Prabhupada said, "Can we make this big size?" And then Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Malati's husband, made the first Jagannath deities for ISKCON. And we had the first Rath Yatra in 1967 in San Francisco. And there is an interesting story while carving of Jagannath, which I want to tell all of you. When Shyam Sundar Prabhu was carving the Jagannath deity, one day Srila Prabhupada used to come and examine. One day, when Srila Prabhupada came Actually, they were knowing nothing about what is right, what is wrong. So Syam Sundar Prabhu used to smoke in one hand and carve Jagannath in other hand. And when Srila Prabhupada came, Syam Sundar Prabhu kept the cigarette on the head of Jagannath. And Srila Prabhupada looked everything and he looked at the cigarette also, which was giving smoke. And Srila Prabhupada said, "You are so close to Krishna. Why do you bring this small, insignificant paper, burning paper, in between you and Jagannath?" And Syam Sundar Prabhu says, with this just one statement of Srila Prabhupada, that was the end of my smoking. Jai Jagannath Swami Ki. And in this way, the first Rath Yatra festival outside of India was celebrated in San Francisco in 1967, where thousands and millions of hippies came. It was the Maha Hippie Sammelan. Jagannath also looks like different, and the hippies could relate. ये भी कुछ अलग ही दिखता है. And the hippies were dancing and jumping and taking prasadam. And so many hippies got transformed. They saved up their head. They were having big hairs, and they saved up their head and started wearing dhoti, kurta, tilak. And they were signing. So it was the greatest news in America that this Indian Swami has come and made our Americans wear bedsheets, put some pigeon dropping on the head, and put a tail on the back. But they are looking effulgent and they are signing. So the reporters came and asked Srila Prabhupada, "What is that you have that has created so much of transformation in these hippies?" And Srila Prabhupada said that I have not done anything. It is the magic of Krishna. And then the reporters went to these disciples, the American young men and women. Can you imagine the girls, American youth girls, hippies, who were hardly wearing anything, wearing now sari. The reporter was shocked. What is this attire? Why she is wearing bedsheet? So the reporter asked these couples, "What is that in this Swamiji that is inspiring you?" So these boys and girls, these devotees, these couples, they said, "We don't understand anything what this Swamiji says." Because Srila Prabhupada's accent was a Bengali accent. His speaking of English wasn't much of a Bengali accent. And the Americans was so difficult for them to understand English accent, forget about Indian accent and forget about Bengali accent. So these disciples, they said to the reporter that we don't understand anything what this Swamiji says in class, but we understand one thing, that this Swamiji has not come to cheat us. And that's how we are ready to surrender our entire life to this Swamiji. This is an example of a role model of Bhagavad Gita, of living Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada used to tell that there have been more than 700 editions of Gita in the foreign countries, but there was not a single devotee of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Man manabhav mad bhakto become my devotee, accept these principles. But so many people were reading Bhagavad Gita. People were doing PhD in Bhagavad Gita with cigarettes and alcohol in their hand. But Srila Prabhupada went, showed the right example of living Bhagavad Gita at the age of 70 from Calcutta, and transformed so many of the hippies. And thus there were two couples, and then Janaki, I want you to remember these 6 names. Janaki and Mukunda, first couple. Second, Malati, Syam Sundar, and Janaki's sister was Yamuna. So Yamuna's husband was Gurudas. So they were 3 couples, 6 devotees, and Srila Prabhupada said that we must do something in London. So from New York, San Francisco, these 3 couples, they wanted to fly from New York to London, and they had only $1,500. And the immigration department said that every couple must have $1,500 to cross the borders. So the first couple, they went to London with $1,500. They sent the money back to San Francisco. And with the $1,500, the second couple came. And they sent the money back. And with another $1,500, the third couple came. And the third couple had a small infant, Saraswati, with their Malati's daughter. And in this way, with $1,500, 3 couples entered London. And $1,500 in London, how long it will stay? And in 2-3 months, it was over. And these 3 couples were wondering, how do I pay the rent? And the owner was shouting, and we have to pay the rent, we have to pay the rent. And you will not believe, these 3 couples, they were singing Hare Krishna in the park. Exactly the same amount of rent in pounds. It flew and landed up in front of them in the kirtan. And they paid the rent for the month. And Syam Sundar Prabhu had a desire that if we really want to spread Hare Krishna, if we really want to spread what Swamiji is teaching us from Bhagavad Gita, we have to catch the bidders. You know what is bidder? The George Harrison and the Apple Records. George Harrison bidders were so famous during that time that when George Harrison would visit a program, concert, and after the concert, George Harrison would go to a hotel, and then he would use a towel. And this towel, after George Harrison would leave the hotel, would be sold 1 square inch in $1,000. George Harrison Prasadi. Mahaprasad. Mahaprasad of George Harrison. That was the fame of George Harrison. And Syam Sundar Prabhu wanted to make George Harrison chant what? Hare Krishna. And then he sent a letter to his secretary, and and George Harrison had some knowledge about Rishikesh, coming to India, and he wanted to explore Indian spirituality. So Syam Sundar Prabhu and Yamuna, Janaki, Malati, everyone had a meeting with George Harrison. And when George Harrison first time heard Yamuna Mataji singing, he was so mesmerized. George Harrison, he was so famous. When he heard Yamuna singing, George Harrison said, Your voice is so mesmerizing. I will make you the most famous celebrity in the world today. And Yamuna Devi said, I don't want to be a star in the eyes of the world. I just want to be a star in eyes of Swamiji and Krishna. Can you imagine? Rejecting the offer of George Harrison. Imagine Ambani comes to you. He says, I want to give you one company. What do you say? You have read Bhagavad Gita. And they were 6 months old. Yamuna Devi, it's not that she has been practicing Krishna consciousness for 2 years and 3 years and 4 years and 10 years. Just 6-7 months old, practicing Bhagavad Gita. And Yamuna said, I want to be better a star in the eyes of Krishna and Guru than as a star in the eyes of world. And George Harrison was so impressed that he said we should make a Hare Krishna record. And the first official Hare Krishna record was sang in Apple Record Company. I will play that so that you hear what was sang. And this was the first Hare Krishna. I don't know how many of you know this. Oh, why it's not coming? You know this? This is George's guitar.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
So when this record was published, it became the top of the chart of the entire world. In every household in America and in Europe, this Hare Krishna was sung. And the Hare Krishna became a household chant. And later on, in London, there was a wonderful temple built, and George Harrison gave his entire big bungalow in London for now. Also, the temple is there called the Bhaktivedanta Manor. It's a big property of George Harrison given to ISKCON and the London temple there. And just in matter of 10 years, there were 108 temples opened all over the world, and more than 80 books written by Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada traveled 14 times throughout the world, initiating more than 5,000 Americans into Krishna Bhakti. So, this is the power of having a role model in our life. And we must understand, if we really want to live the principles of Bhagavad Gita, we need to really associate with the role models who are following Bhagavad Gita in life. And if we do not associate with people who are living with Bhagavad Gita, you will not be able to live Bhagavad Gita in life. So this is the A, B, C, D of spirituality. Spirituality begins with association. And that's why I'm pleading all of you, requesting each one of you, that though we are completing the course, if you really want to follow Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita, imbibe Bhagavad Gita, keep on continuing associating with devotees. Just by the power of association, how do you become a drunkard? Yes? How do you become a drunkard? How do you become a drunkard? Whatever it is, you may call it bad, but association, let's not brand it. Association, yes? How to become a drug addict? Association. How do you become a good student? I will tell you, I had a student when I used to teach mathematics many years before. And he was failing. And he asked, how do I improve, sir? And I said, you just be with the topper. You be with him, solve all problems with him. And he had a car and the topper was struggling to come in cycle. I said, you drop him to the school, you drop him to the home, you bring him from the home. And he did all the services along with the topper. And the topper got IIT Kharagpur and this boy got Bits Pilani. Service to the topper, associating with the topper. He also read, but association is so powerful. So all of you are getting opportunity to associate with those who are trying to live a life of pure principles centered around Bhagavad Gita. And it's my request that if you really want to live Bhagavad Gita and continue following these principles in your life and not stop them just because the course is completed, you need to learn how to associate with them more closely. And more you associate with people who are following Bhagavad Gita, you will also be following Bhagavad Gita nicely. Srila Prabhupada is from Calcutta and we are so fortunate being born in Calcutta, being in Calcutta, doing some job in Calcutta. And it's my request that there are so many books written by Srila Prabhupada which inspired millions and millions. There are so many people who wanted to, there was one, I will tell you a story. This is last story. Many years before, I think about 5 to 6 years before, my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, was driving in the countryside of America, and somehow he felt very thirsty and he had no water. And it was like, you know, the countryside of America, there are roads and completely there is nothing. Those who have been to America. So he found a treetop house. So in the treetop, you know what is a treetop house? It's tree, and in the top of the tree there is a house, built with wood. And he thought that there is someone maybe who can give me some water. And a person jumped down and he said, "Oh, please come." And Maharaj said that, "I need some water, I am feeling thirsty." So he invited Maharaj to his treetop house, on that house, and Maharaj was sitting. And he said his story to Maharaj. He said that, "I was looking for you." Maharaj said, "Oh, you're looking for me? Just imagine you're thirsty and you're looking. I was looking for you." And he said, "Why you were looking for me?" So this man said to Maharaj, "I was a welder on a skyscraper buildings. You know, the skyscraper buildings, there are like 50 stories, 60 stories, and you have to weld the 51st story outside. You have seen outside there is weldings so that you don't fall off from the windows. So those weldings I used to do. And I used to earn a lot, because if you have to do such welding, which is high risk, the companies pay you a lot. And I was so frustrated with my work. Every day I used to think of committing suicide. And then he said that one fine day, where I thought that I want to commit suicide, and I was so frustrated, I went to the laundromat. You know what is a laundromat? Here we have dhobi, but in US, dhobis are very costly. So they have, just like ATM machine, there are washing machine. And you pay money and you stand for a while, they will wash your clothes and give you right away, instant. They're called laundromats. So he said that I took a watermelon and I was eating the watermelon while my cloth was getting washed in the laundromat. And while I was eating the watermelon slipped out of my hand and fell in the dustbin. And I was so disgusted with life, I was thinking that my destiny is so bad that even watermelon is also not staying with me. And I was feeling so disgusted that I will take this watermelon. And I put my hand in the dustbin to take out the watermelon. And what came out is this book, Bhagavad Gita by Srila Prabhupada. And he showed Maharaj the Bhagavad Gita. This is the book I got from the dustbin. And I was wondering, who would put a book in the dustbin? And I started reading. When I started reading, I was feeling so inspired. All my thoughts of committing suicide stopped and ended. I left everything and I came to the street top. And I have one simple question, Swamiji, to you. He asked this man who was reading Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. He said, I am chanting this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. I am chanting this mantra. But this book says that you have to chant 16 rounds. I don't know what is meaning of round. But I am chanting this mantra. Can you please tell me this Hare Krishna? What is this 16 rounds of Hare Krishna? And then Maharaj said, if you don't know what is 16 round of Hare Krishna, how you are chanting Hare Krishna? And this man said, because I don't know what is 16 rounds of Hare Krishna, I chant throughout the day Hare Krishna. And Maharaj said, put Dandavat to that person who was chanting Hare Krishna and told him it is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the power of this message of Gita, written, commented, translated, spoken by a living role model, Srila Prabhupada. And we all have the opportunity to read his books and transform our life. So it's my request to each one of you that please take out some time, at least 10 minutes in a day, to read some pages of Srila Prabhupada's books And it's my request to take out some time to chant Hare Krishna every day. Your life will be transformed. And not just your life will be transformed, you will able to transform others' life and live a happy life. People who are suffering miserably, drug addicts, their lives are transformed. All of you are so better. So how much you can do to the world if you live a life based on the Gita. So I wish you all the best in your future sessions and understanding of Gita properly. Please take it a point to chant Hare Krishna and associate with devotees. And I also thank each one of you to take out time, valuable time, to complete this course and understand the teachings of Gita. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita basic participants ki jai. Thank you very much.